Hello everyone, it's Grizz. We're back in the garage. We're going to do some more work. It's Easter bank holiday weekend and the sun is shining. It's a beautiful day out and none of us are allowed out, aren't we? So yeah, and I've got on this flipping jacket because I'm going to do some work today. Fly on my head. I'm going to do an oil change, but I'm also going to start off by just degreasing the engine a bit because it's quite dirty. Oil wise, I've got some Castrol Power 1 oil. I keep using it because I get it cheap from work, and a filter obviously. So let's have a look at the engine because it's quite dirty. I feel bad for putting all the exhaust on and leaving it in this state, so I'm going to give it a clean up now. Let's have a look at the state of it and I'll give you a bit of a before and after. Right, so get a look at that. Get a load of it. I'm going to clean it up. I'm probably not going to do too much up here though because I don't want it all getting into the cylinders, so I'm going to really concentrate more so on this bottom half of the bike and get it nice and degreased. Right, let's get on with it. Right, I'm just using some old Wines engine degreaser. I've had this for ages. It's been sat around. Seems like a good time to use it. It's a strange air sprayer on the top, but anyway, let's get on with it. I've got a well ventilated garage and I've got cardboard down on the floor. Right, it's always good when you read the instructions on this stuff. Basically, it tells you to spray it on, leave it on there for 10 minutes, and then use a brush to get rid of any that's left on there, and then wash off with some water. I hadn't really thought about washing it off with the water, and it's in the garage with only one wheel on it. So a bit of improvisation, and I think it's probably going to get a bit messy. I've got some soapy water and a sponge, and I'm going to attempt to not make too much mess without cleaning this off. Hopefully the garage carpet won't be ruined, although it's only offcuts. It was free offcuts and I can get some more, but I still want to try not to make too much of a mess. But anyway, let's get on with it, give it a bit more of a clean up and hopefully not make too much mess. This is why it pays to read the instructions. Don't be like Grizz. Right, that's the engine fairly clean. Now I'm gonna get the sump plug out and drain the oil out. Let's get that going. It's quite clean oil. Could have left it, but you never know how old that oil is, even though the colour's not too bad. It's got a again, a magnetic sump plug, and good thing there's hardly any anything on that magnet. It's nice and clean, so no kind of bits breaking off in the engine, no rubbish on it. Happy with that. Nice. Right, with the actual oil filter, usually you would use like one of these tools. On this one, it actually got a nut on the end of that. It started rounding off, so I used one of these tools, which is a damaged nut bolt remover, and that took care of that nicely. So definitely worth having these in your arsenal of tools. I don't have many tools, but that is a good one. So let's get that oil filter off and get that draining out as well. I'm a bit limited for space, so I'm using this old oil container cut open on one side. Right, let's get this one off as well, the oil filter. Right, so the sump plug's back in, and now I need to put the oil filter on. Oil filter, I've just put a bit of oil in there, not filled it up because I've got to turn it on its side to get it fitted, and also put a bit of oil around this rubber seal, which will aid fitting basically. Make sure that the surface of where the oil filter sits on is nice and clean, and screw it in before the oil pours out of the filter. Hopefully. Here it comes. It's pouring out. Right, not a good idea to put oil in the filter, maybe. I'm going to do this up as tight as I can by hand, like so. Now the downside is that I should have actually had one of these to put on the end of the filter, so I could do it up properly, but I don't have one, so I'm going to have to put one on order to do that up properly. So, but for the meantime, even hand tight, that's as tight as I can go. It might even be okay, but I will get one of these on order and get this one torqued up to the correct torque. Sump plug's there, so now we're ready to put some oil in. Right, so it's time to put the oil in. I'm using 1040 Castrol Power 1 racing oil for motorbikes. I always get it, I always use it because it's actually recommended 1040 for this bike, I believe. Answers on a postcard if it's not, and I get this trade from work, so it would be silly for me not to use it. Don't know if I actually need the funnel because these have got this nice little thing on here, haven't they? So the amount of oil we put in with the new oil filter is 3.5 litres, so I've got 4 litres, so I'll keep an eye on that. No, we don't need the funnel. Lovely jubbly. Right, I've put in just kind of above 3.5 litres, or just less than 3.5 litres in there. What I will do is, if you look down here on the glass, it's showing quite full, but it's probably not full. I will give the bike a run up, and then I'll check the oil level again and top up if necessary. But job done. Right, so that's all that done. Oil filter done, oil change. What else do we do? Clean up the front of the motor. So yeah, it's looking much better. I'm much happier with that. Now, next video, join me in the next one when I put the video on, when I put the flipping exhaust on, and I'm gonna fit up some of the brackets as well, which need to go on there for the oil cooler and radiator. But I'll get all those things sorted, brackets on, and I'll bring you in when I've started to fit the exhaust. Good work everyone, thanks for watching, give us a thumbs up and see you on the next one. Bye.